Well, for the first time in 8 years, somebody not named Darell Steinberg will be mayor of Sacramento.
Assembly member Kevin McCarty will be sworn into the role at today's City Council meeting.
That's right. ABC 10's Mark S. Allen is in Sacramento sharing some memories of Steinberg's time as mayor. Sort of a this is your life. Mark?
Yeah, that's it. Walt, funny you should say that. Kind of dated reference for guys like me, you, and Mayor Darell Steinberg. There was a show where they used to just break out historical pieces of people or things or pictures and make people react to it. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with him. I've had the pleasure of catching up with him largely at charitable events to get to know him in that way. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't talk about politics. I don't like to talk about religion. I'll never debate what's the best Star Wars sequel. You know, the hot topics, I just avoid them at all cost. But I will talk about other stuff, and I did enjoy getting to know Darell Steinberg. And so take a look at what we did. Just kind of set up shot here at 1430 Q, best view of Sacramento, to have breakfast with them, a cup of coffee, and talk about things. My favorite thing is busting out these old pictures, including from 60 years ago this year, his high school graduation photo where he was no stranger to tight pants. And then, of course, I got a kick when I kicked out the picture of kindergarten Darell. Look.
Now, turn this off.
Who is that? What do we need to know about that guy?
You know, some say a face only a mother would love. Actually, I think I look the same, just a little bit older.
Things have been said, but if people said to me, what do you think about Mayor Steinberg? I'd rarely say adorable. Until now.
Until now, yeah. You know, I think anytime I go to a community meeting where people are yelling at me, I'm just going to put up that picture.
Exactly.
It's so funny. I had like a dozen pictures of him through the years. Ironically, his earliest picture, that of him in kindergarten, looks exactly like Mayor Darell Steinberg. Forget about that. Moving forward and talking about kids, I took to the streets and got questions from a bunch of ABC 10 viewers and regulars, especially the kids, to ask them to ask the real questions. Take a look.
Nehemiah may want to follow in your footsteps. Go ahead, Nehemiah.
Any recommendations on how old you were when you first thought of being a mayor? And any advice for me?
So Nehemiah, thank you for the great question. I don't know when I started thinking about being mayor, but I started thinking about serving and being involved when I was in the 5th grade. Because when I was in the 5th grade, I ran for class president for the first time. And I won, and it was a lot of fun. And I realized that, hey, maybe this is something that would be fun to continue doing. And so what advice do I have for you, Nehemiah, or any young person who thinks about being mayor or wants to do anything good in life? 3 keys. Work hard, because there is no substitute for working hard. Always be reading a good book, by the way, because that's how you learn. Number 2, be kind to other people. In this society these days, everyone says the only way to get ahead is to be mean to others. No, be nice to other people, because when you're nice, they'll be nice back, and you'll be surprised how much farther you can go when people like you. And third, care about your community. Care about something other than just yourself. Pick a cause. It could be anything, but pick your cause and make that something that you care about and that you work hard on. So 3 things. Work hard, be kind to others, and care about your community and something just beyond yourself.
My goodness, you're good at this. You ever thought of running for office?
I've thought about it and I've rejected it. That's it.
I think you got a shot.
A pretty good shot at being mayor. I love that advice. You know, that advice could be for kids that think they want to grow up and be mayor. It'd also be really good advice for Kevin as he enters office. Had a good time getting to know Darell Steinberg through the years, mostly at charity events. And things that I learned about Darell during that sit-down chat, his brother, one of which is a rabbi, so the pressure was really tough. You know, you got to do the right things and do good unto others, if that's the case. Otherwise, it's going to be awkward around the Thanksgiving table. I also learned that his dad, still going at it as a school teacher, he's 90 years old. Darell and I talked about commonalities. He and I both believe that our whole life belongs to the community and we should do for it what we can. And with that said, if his dad's up there at 90 still at it, Darell's probably got a lot of public service left in him. Back to you.
Mark, we have to go back to that prom picture. The woman in the photo, were you able to find her? Because she has the real story on who he was before he was mayor.
Yeah, I did ask him about that. In fact, so many kids asked questions, and I had a lot of other questions and a lot of other photos. I'll put that all on my Facebook page a little bit later on. It's Mark S. Allen Show.
Yeah, one thing about Darrell, from knowing him through the years, Mark, and it's a compliment, but also could be a slight criticism, is he always tried to make everybody happy, and you can't always make two sides happy at the same time on issues. Did you find that?
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy who I truly believe at his core is a nice guy, but unfortunately, and maybe some of us fall victim to this, trying to please everybody, you can't, and he acknowledges that. However, with that said, I don't know that I would have wanted to be mayor during the time he was mayor. Like, if I looked at the charts and it said, hey, there's a pandemic coming, I'd skip a few years.
Yeah, that came out in your interview, and that's true. My dad was a two-time state senator, and I asked him some advice, and should I go into politics?
What
and
did
he
he
said,
say?
don't do it. So
He said, be a news anchor instead?
I don't know what he said. He just told me what not to
So
do.
there's that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a tough job. All right. Marcus Allen, Darell Steinberg, thank you. All right.